Hello again, it's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard. Welcome to a very breezy day where it might be a little hard to hold things down. That was my edge catcher. I'm going to go grab that, but you can look at the edge catchers I have there and the alternatives. This was half of the insert. I don't know if you can see that. That's half the length. Half the width of a 16 by 24 inch insert from Artist Loft Canvas 16 by 20 inch pack. Yeah, I'm not enunciating correctly, I guess. But my plan is to use these, and I'm going to have to obviously put something down on them to keep them stable. I also wanted to share with you guys why it would be worthwhile to keep a spare canvas around in case you like things with texture. And I kind of love that. It might shimmer a little bit. I don't know if I'll ever do anything else with that, but I could frame that and stick it in my house. Be pretty happy. I don't really like framing things usually. It's a 12 by 16 and it was just catching paint for a long time. So my plan for today is to use this 16 by 20 inch canvas and those cards, which I'm going to try and remember to keep something on. I've shaken my paint. I have GAC 800 by Golden in all my paints to make sure that they stay or they dry without cracking. Pardon me, I'm a little bit distracted. It's been a couple days since I've been out here. I wasn't feeling myself for a bit because of some of the stuff that's going on. If you watch me regularly, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's okay. So rather than put one thing down at a time, I am going to give myself permission to put bunches of things down at a time, and I'm going to do a geometric to the best of my understanding. This is an Anita's black metallic, which is quite a bit grayer and will create a different effect. I don't know how far these particular paints will go. That looks like that's an Anita's metallic. Wow, I was expecting something else. Never mind. So I'm just going to use what I've got to start covering what I'm going to use what I started with, and I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to take these little things I left in my way that I thought I was going to use that I may or may not use. And I'm going to grab my other white paint because the two white paints are very different, although that's looking a lot like I mixed up a double batch of metallic. So in theory, these paints should sell together, the black and the white. Doesn't really matter what I do to start, it's where we go from there that counts. And I can dip and just pull until we run out of space, and I can pick up that paint and put it down another place. I can actually move paint by, what do you call that? Plowing it, like a snowplow. And this may be just stage one and done, but I'm thinking not. And I really want to continue to use the white paint in the big bottle because that one, I am sure, is what it's supposed to be. And I'm giving a little bit of pressure to the card and turning the turntable at the same time. The turntables, by the way, there are turntables I added below the video. Excuse me. There are turntables I added to the Amazon list of art supplies. The link to the Amazon list is below the video. So this is all about the directions things are traveling in. And I don't really expect this to take an awful long time. And I am truly experimenting for the first time with this particular style. And I could use a bigger sheet of acetate if I wanted to start with, but that didn't happen. So this will be a trial run. I should use a clean one, and that way I might be able to get some clean white, but I'm not sure I really want it yet. You can press this down and create a dip, so you have a different texture underneath. I'll try and leave those out of my way. You'd think with only 2 bottles it wouldn't be a problem. I want to continue to use the same card, and that's probably not my best bet right now, so I'm just going to grab another one. I've been doing this geometric stuff for a while, and I've been very curious about how far I can push it. And that dripped right over my edge, so that's fine. I'm just going to use my finger to push it into place. I also have some other weird tools, like ones I made from cottage cheese lids. Now, anytime you start with a blob of paint, you can always press the card in and you will get a different effect. You can also just keep pressing the card in and get a different effect all the way across. Fill in and create a texture, which is pretty cool right there, I gotta say. I'm still not trying really hard enough to make this any pure color. I'm not really looking for a pure white stripe. The shades of gray that the black and white make together make it interesting for me. I am going to steal some of that paint and put it right down that way. And then shuffle it right over the edge, I think. Yes, I am. I just have to push it up to the edge of my canvas. We're getting a lot of nice cells. I don't use any silicone in my artwork. And this is also a really good start. You could also add gold afterwards, and I did one with gold that I still love to this day. So, which reminds me, if you guys happen to fall in love with any artworks, it's a good time to talk to me about that before Christmas, because I just had some very serious from a local gallery who said some very nice things to me, including, "We'll clear out a space for you." And I'm kind of looking forward to that. That would be awfully nice, don't you think? I do. They were very impressed with my collection of art, and they want to make sure that they make it available to their collectors. So I got my fingers crossed, even though they're in Spring Hill where I am, and I've never been terribly impressed with the level of interest in art here. This person has connections for here for 30 years, so say a prayer for me that this works out, because I would really like it to. That way I could keep bringing you guys YouTube videos every day without worrying anybody. You know what would really float my boat is if I could take all the commercials off. That would be fantastic. Right now the commercials are the only things keeping me here, because they pay the bills as far as art supplies go. Well, actually, you know, that's not entirely true, because there are quite a few of you helping me who contribute all the time, and I really appreciate that, and I don't want to discount that at all. I can't get rid of those because they're gorgeous. I can go through at the end and add more black. It's amazing I can talk and do this at the same time to me pretty consistently. I like this. Even if it's the white pearl, it'll be fine. And I think over here somewhere I had a little card. There it is. The playing card will work so long as I have a smooth side. Just make that fit right in. Smoosh it down. Don't mind if some canvas shows through. It's a very sheer paint, obviously. And the same with right there. And I think I'm just going to use this whole side. Is it long enough? Not really. I'm going to plow it forward to the edge, let it drop over, in fact, and then pull it back right up until that line where I have that other great texture going on right there right now. It's a lot of fun doing this. If you have fear of abstract art, I recommend that you go ahead and give yourself permission to try this. I don't think it's hard. I know I'm probably an exception to a few rules. I've been an artist my whole life. My parents were artists, and I'm not going to say they were successful. They had credits. They were fine artists, but it's hard making a living as an artist. Back then there was no internet, so that didn't help them. They had a lot of clients, but more of them got lent paintings than bought them, I think, although it's hard to tell. Every once in a while, somebody from the family who knew my family calls me up and says, "I've got a print. Do you have a larger version of this? We had some problems," and they're not available anymore. Which brings me back to my original point. If there's something that you like, you might want to inquire. My email is below the video. Inquire before it's gone, because there is a very good chance that it may be indeed gone at some point in time. Really? We're going to have some whole new texture. Okay, let's just take our new texture and run with it. I'm going to take some of this paint right here. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to take some of that paint right there. I'm just going to keep chatting to you guys and pulling things this way and that and looking at what I might want to have left or what I might want to fill on the edges. Like I said, this is a lot of fun. This is definitely good art therapy in my opinion. Maybe not everybody's, but mine. I'm going to put some paint right on the card and then I'm going to drop it right over the edge at the top and let it slide down. Same over here. I'm not sure you can see that, but if you get the gist, it'll be helpful. It's a good way to cover the edges, and whatever paint is on there, I'm just going to run along the edge with my finger and let the cells pop as they may. Try and get that out of the way. It's funny, you know, 40 bottles or 4 bottles, I still manage to keep them in my way. So there's some more paint from the card to fill in. I'm feeling like I really like that big white spot right there, which might require me to use an actually clean card. And I'm going to give that a try. That might even be too much paint, but here goes nothing. I've got another spot over there. I'm going to lay that right in and give it a bit of a squish. And then I'll probably go over here, fill that in. The clean card makes all the difference until you get smudge on it like that, which case I'm just going to live with because I like accidental art or I wouldn't be doing it. Now I want to fill all that in without dragging a card, so I'm going to just squash it down in place, which leaves a nice texture you may not be able to keep. A lot of times the fluid acrylic arts, the accidental arts, are about being flat, and I don't necessarily agree with that because art is art, and it doesn't have to be flat. A lot of people like texture, and they probably miss it doing this art form because nobody's advocating texture, but I'm saying everything goes. And I'm going to torch to release any bubbles that I have in the paint, but I always feel like the truth is especially about this geometric style art, is that you don't have to worry quite as much because after you swipe something, the chances of the bubbles still be in there are not all that great. So you just keep using what you see, and dipping and pulling and dabbing are always welcome, and you can run the card down sideways. If you haven't seen me do this before, on the end screens you're going to find a link to my channel and my playlists. Look for geometrics because I've put them all in one place, so if you want to see what I've done, you can see it there. I seldom use the corner, but I think I'd like to try it. Yeah. Because I like the look of that. Now if I go too much further, it's going to lose the elegance that it has right now that's simple. But I am going to look around for places I might want to not have canvas showing and press a corner in. Like, oh, do I want to? Yeah, I do. I like the corner effect. What can I say? And I think most of it's working. At least I think so. Not everybody has to agree with your taste. That's for sure. Whatever paint I have on the edge of my card, I'm going to stick on the edge of the canvas. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you want to help me out, shop my Amazon link. It's almost Christmas. And at no added cost to you, it helps me after a while when enough people buy stuff there. And I really appreciate you guys doing that. You have. Quite a few of you have, and I really appreciated it. It does add up a little bit. Also, I have the most awesome collection of leggings on my Teespring link, which is the clothing that you see below the video if you're watching in that format where you can see it. And if you're not, just ask me. My email is below the video. Find a way to get that email and ask me to give you a link, and I'll give you a link. I'd be happy to. So I just think that's fantastic just the way it is, and I see that little bit of canvas, which means it's not fantastic the way it is. So I'm going to bend my card and use the paint on it, and now it's still fantastic. I just love black and white, and They just pumped me. They just blew smoke at me yesterday about my black and whites. He told me the one over the mantle was worth $50,000. So, like, you probably want to see that at some point in time. Ask me on, and I'll show you. It's called Childhood's End. It has a story that goes with it. Maybe I'll tell you sometime. Yeah, I did that. Oh well. And I'm still playing, but I have an entire side that's not covered. I think it's time to tell you guys, please give me a thumbs up. You can find a drawing that you can enter if you are a contributor to the studio of $10 or more on the end screens of any video when the contests are running. I still want to do that. Okay, can I do that? I can't do that without... No, I can't do that. Okay, I'm going to bend those back the other way on my cottage cheese lid, so I have a double row. Yes, we have love bugs today, and see what happens. I'm going right in there. Oh, that's neat. Ha! Very cool. I'm so glad I did that. Oh, I love it when stuff happens like that. That's neat. Okay, what else do I have here? I want to dip that into... I'm going to put some paint right on my card over here before we're done. I got 1 second left. I'm just going to dip that in the card all the way down, and I'm going to look for some canvas, and I'm going to say I got 2 minutes left to tell you what I'm supposed to tell you, which is hard to remember sometimes when I'm so excited. Oh, that's so much fun. I love it when that happens. Surprise! Anyway, so underneath the video, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest links, and the paint pouring recipe. I'm not sure I like that as much as some of the other things. I gotta be careful, this wind wants to take all my stuff away. Whoa! Okay. I'm sorry for those of you who have a hard time hearing me because of the wind. I'm gonna touch that remaining edge up after you guys have gone. And I don't want that to go away. Go away. Wow, microburst. Stay, baby, stay. We survived that. I want to make sure that this does not get destroyed because I really like it. Okay, so whatever I've forgotten to tell you guys, there's a book called Because I Can. I wrote it. It's the first 100 videos. We're trying to get another one, volume 2, out for Christmas. And then my editors just informed me that we'll be doing that every 6 months, and she may or may not be correct because I got a lot of stuff to do, and that's not maybe my first priority. But I know you guys want volume 2 who bought volume 1 and you enjoy it so much that I believe you're telling me the truth. So now that the microburst is gone, I'm going to try and torch this because I think I would have had the I would have had it blow out anyway. I've got paint on my little cards, so I think maybe I'll just look for places like that and use my finger to fill in because that'll add texture too. And I tell you guys I love you. There's over 80,000 of you. There's only ever 500 of you ever seeing a video in 24 hours, it looks like. Something is amiss at YouTube, but if you're not getting notifications, check that your settings are still on, because if your settings aren't on, you won't get them anyway. And if you were subscribed and you're not now, please painting don't blow away. Yep. Alright, whatever I've forgotten to tell you, you'll see in another video. I know I got an extra half a minute, I just remembered. And if you do this and you have some naked canvas and spots, just stick a finger in some paint and fill it, because those little splodges are staying there too. This is truly accidental art with a twist. Maybe that's what I'll call it. And honestly, the canvases come primed from the store, so if you don't fill every nook and cranny and every gap, you're okay. You can do that too. It's not the end of the world. It's still a gorgeous piece of art. Or at least in my opinion it is. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it moves around very nicely. I love you guys. I hope to see you soon. There's over 840 videos. You can find them all by category or topic by visiting my channel. And I'm looking for playlists, looking for all playlists, created playlists. And I will see you guys anon. This is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard. Gonna be futzing with this well, you come or go. And I think you're probably still here for another minute or two, so am I, because I want to cover that spot right there and just drip some paint along the edge.